Israel struck an attack while Iran's judiciary chief was giving an interview. Uh-oh, here we go.
فلسطین اعلام می‌کنم و از همه جبهه مقاومت ایران اسلامی تا آخرین لحظه تا سرنگونی این فتوحات‌ها ایستاده و کمترین کوتاهی در این زمین نخواهد کرد و کوتاه نخواهد.
آقا این مشت مسئولین با مشت مردم که فرقی نمی‌کنه.
انشاءالله ما مردم که نمیتونیم متأسفانه این شور و احساسی که مردم
I thought we were getting a bomb. Where's the bomb?
مردم در کنار مردم
What's on this? Oh shit! Yep. Oh my god. And is this recent? I don't know if it is or not. Oh wow, look at that. He didn't flinch at all. I mean, kind of respect on that, right? Yeah. And he knows he's not going to get hit. Do you know why? It's because he's surrounding himself with a bunch of human shields. I mean, like, if Israel and the U.S. were actually targeting civilians, they would have airstrike this parade, but they didn't because they're not targeting civilians. So that's the reason why they felt comfortable and confident enough to go out there and do this. So human shields are here? Yeah, isn't that sad? It's so weird, isn't it? Human shield doesn't work with bombs. Yeah, I guess not. And I mean, at some point you see some shit like that, it's too late. Yeah, you're right. And bro's probably responsible for ordering the death of thousands over his lifetime. Of course he wouldn't flinch. He's a sociopath. Maybe. And so anyway, take a look at this. A taste of their own medicine. Remember when IRGC thugs fired on mourners for slain Iranian protesters? Now they cannot bury their own in peace. A funeral of 8 Bajir members of the Karvan checkpoint sent mourners scrambling and fleeing. People are getting fed up with that shit. Fed up with that bullshit. Ooh. Oh, wow. IDF killed civilians in Lebanon? Yeah, they killed civilians in Iran, too. That's what happens. You have a war. You're going to have civilians that get killed. It's just what happens. It's not good. It's just what happens. Man. So now they're the ones that are getting harassed. Oh, this is a new one. I haven't seen this at all. Oh, this is the bomb from like 3 days ago. Holy shit. Look at this. God damn. God damn. You see the mayhem in Israel? No, I didn't. Should I look at that? It's the same drone attack we saw from the boat? Yeah, it's still burning. Man, this is going to be really bad for global warming. It is. It's going to be horrible for global warming. And Iran, the #1 threat of peace and stability in Middle years. Oh, this is something that I think we've seen that before too. And what are these here? I'll look at it too. The one. Oh, I saw this. Israeli airstrike hit another building in Lebanon. Oh, here we go.
كما تشاهدون الآن المبنى الذي هدده أو حدده العدو الصهيوني على طريق عام العباسية كما تشاهدون.
God fucking damn. I love it, yeah.
عبر
I mean, these people are terrorists anyway, right? They're attacking Hezbollah. How do they know to be recording it? I don't know, honestly. Like, that's a good question. Like, I mean... Yeah. Like, it does seem like kind of... It seems very convenient the guy just happened to be recording at the exact time the bomb hit. But, I mean, it could be multiple different reasons. Who knows? And then, oh yeah, I will look at this. There's another video about this. Let me see if I can pull that up and find it. And, no, this is from before. And, the dummy, what do you call it? The drop dummy, called Door Knocker. Yeah, I didn't know anything about that. Let's see if I can find it. Yeah, this is it. Here we go.
Been so quickly destroyed and made combat ineffective. Devastated. We said it would not be a fair fight, and it has not been.
This is from today.
As I stated during our first press conference on day 2, that was 10 short days ago.
Yeah.
The combination of the world's 2 most powerful air forces is unprecedented and unbeatable. Between our air force and that of the Israelis, over 15,000 enemy targets have been struck. That's well over
15,000? I guess they're counting all the ones in Lebanon too. Holy shit.
1,000 a day.
God.
No other combination of countries in the world
God
can
damn.
do that. So today, as
That's a
we
lot of
speak,
targets.
we fly over the top of Iran and Tehran. Fighters and bombers all day picking targets as they choose. As our intelligence gets better and better and more refined. Looking up, the IRGC
Without
and Iranian
Lebanon?
regime
That's insane.
sees only two things on the side of aircraft: the stars and stripes and the Star of David. The evil regime's worst nightmare.
Man.
Iran has no air defenses. Iran has no air
I love
force.
he's excited talking about it. Well, you've got to remember that, like, a lot of these guys that are in the military now, that are in leadership positions, probably were the soldiers that had to act like target dummies for terrorists during the war on terror. Because, you know, you couldn't fire back on terrorists whenever they were shooting you as long as they weren't holding a gun. So a lot of these guys, this is something they've been waiting for like 20 fucking years. 15 fucking years.
Iran has no
That's
navy.
what I think happened.
Their missiles, their missile launchers and drones being destroyed or shot out of the sky.
Yeah.
Their missile volume is down 90%.
90, that's
Their
a lot.
one-way attack drones yesterday, down 95%.
Damn.
And as the world is seeing, they are exercising sheer desperation in the Straits of Hormuz. Something we're dealing with. We have been dealing with it, and don't need to worry about it. We're on plan to defeat, destroy, disable all of their meaningful military capabilities at a pace the world has never seen before.
Great. Wow.
But it's not just that Iran doesn't have a functioning air force, or that their entire navy is at the bottom of the Persian Gulf, or their missile force is shrinking daily. Even more importantly, they also don't have the ability to build more. That's the most important component.
Yeah, he's right about that. Like, unless you stop the, unless you get rid of the cookie factory, deleting all the cookies is just going to wait until there's going to be more cookies. You've got to go after the actual source. You're right about that. 100%. You're 100% spot on with your assessment. We veterans want these IRGC fucks dead. We've been wanting their heads for the better part of 25 years. Yeah, because I think that a lot of veterans know that most of the places in the Middle East are occupied by Iranian terrorists. That's where a lot of the funding comes from. Not all of it, but that's where a lot of it came from. So, like, seeing that connection and then seeing that, you know, the disease rather than the symptom be addressed, I think that's something a lot of guys want to see.
Like to emphasize today. Soon and very soon, all of Iran's defense companies will be destroyed. For example, as of 2 days ago, Iran's entire ballistic missile production capacity, every company that builds every component of those missiles has been functionally defeated, destroyed.
Jesus Christ.
Buildings, complexes, and factory lines all across Iran destroyed. So we're shooting down
I guess this is the reason why they spent so long before they attacked. Because, like, this seems like it's very, very... Like, to have all this stuff lined out ahead of time and then to execute on it in, like, 2 weeks, that's insane.
destroying what missiles they still have in stock.
A lot, yeah.
But more importantly, ensuring that they have no ability to make more.
Yeah.
Their production lines, their military plants, their defense innovation centers defeated. Iran's leadership is in no better shape. Desperate and hiding, they've gone underground, cowering. That's what rats do.
You call them rats. Okay, wow. All right, didn't expect that. Okay. That's what rats do. Holy fuck. Okay, let me see this here. Hexet didn't see actual combat. Then he went to Iraq to serve as a civil liaison. Then in Afghanistan, he was a trainer for the base. He's yearning for bullets because he never saw them. Okay, so if you think that's true, how do you reconcile that with the fact that the polling amount of people that were actual veterans overwhelmingly support this war? There's like a plus 20 point difference between veterans and non-veterans for support of the war. How do you reconcile those two realities? There's no shot that's true. There is. Veteran here, we support this war. Yeah. Hexet did see combat. He got awards for it. Well, I'm just like, the thing is that that's not relevant. It's not relevant. Of course, veterans support it. They don't like terrorists. Okay, so you're just making these comments. So you just don't like Pete Hegseth? I'm just saying that he's so aggressive on it because he doesn't really know what it means. But like then you just said, but I don't understand the logic here. So he's so aggressive with it. You're arguing. I don't even want to read this. It's just what are you talking about?
We know the new so-called not so supreme leader is wounded.
So
no,
he called them rats?
That's what rats do. We know the new so-called not so supreme leader is wounded.
Yep.
And likely disfigured. He put out a statement yesterday, a weak one, actually, but there was no voice and there was no video.
I wonder why.
It was a written statement.
I wonder
why,
man.
He called for unity. Apparently killing tens of thousands of protesters is his kind of unity.
Yes.
Iran has plenty of cameras and plenty of voice recorders. Why a written statement? I think you know why.
I think you know why. Everybody knows why.
His father, dead. He's scared, he's injured, he's on the run, and he lacks legitimacy. It's a mess for them.
Oh my God.
Who's in charge? Iran may not even know.
Jesus Christ.
With every passing hour, we know, and we know they know.
I love how he just goes up here and he just talks shit about him. He calls them rats. He says he's going to kill him, and he explains how he's going to do it. Like every other day.
That the military capabilities of their evil regime are crumbling. They can barely communicate, let alone coordinate. They're confused, and we know it. Our response, we will keep pressing.
Yep.
We will keep pushing, keep advancing. No quarter, no mercy for our enemies. Yet some in this crew, in the press,
he's trying to force tactical errors.
Stop.
Yeah.
Allow me to make a few
suggestions.
suggestions.
He died like a dog.
People look up at the TV and they see banners, they see headlines. I used to be in that business. And I know that everything is written intentionally. For example, a banner or a headline, Mideast war intensifies, splashing on the screen the last couple of days, alongside visuals of civilian or energy targets that Iran has hit, because that's what they do. What should the banner read instead? How about Iran increasingly desperate? Because they are. They know it, and so do you. If
it's big for national morale.
Or more fake news from...
Oh, I agree with you on that, too. I think it's very important that he comes out here and talks like this, because I think that all of the 21-year-old chuds that are in the military, I hate to say it, guys, but there's a reason why recruitment is so high. Every 21-year-old chud that hears, we're going to kill them like rats, and they're like, oh, they're loving it. This is what they signed up for. Yeah, exactly. Like, this is the thing, is that every young guy, like, do you know what they do? They sit around and like, probably in America, right? A lot of these guys that join the military have grown up watching movies like 300, Jarhead, American Sniper, Black Hawk Down, or fucking, Kingdom of Heaven or something like that. And then you have a guy that's running the military with literal crusader tattoos, and he's talking about bringing God to the Middle East. He's got fucking, he's talking about killing these guys like rats. Troy, yeah. The Marvel Cinematic Universe, God wills it. Yeah, Generation Kill. All of this stuff. I mean, like, yeah, this is what they're for. This is what they're about, man. Like, yeah, Helldivers too. There's another one.
CNN. Reports
talking about your generation, they forgot about Iraq? No, it's the problem is that they remembered. That's the reason why they want it, is that they saw what happened at Iraq, and they saw how much time was wasted because the military didn't actually have a decisive lethal goal. And whenever they have somebody who did have a decisive lethal goal, I think that's what they want to have happen. That's the whole point.
Trump administration underestimated the Iran war's impact on the Strait of Hormuz. Patently ridiculous, of course.
Yeah.
For decades, Iran has threatened shipping in the Strait of Hormuz. This is always what they do, hold the strait hostage. CNN doesn't think we thought of that. It's a fundamentally unserious report.
So the guys that systematically destroyed every single ballistic missile capability manufacturer in the entire fucking country didn't think about, well, what if they attack the boats? What if, like, what? What are we talking about?
The sooner David Ellison takes over that network, the better. Another example of a fake headline that I saw yesterday. War widening. Here's a real headline for you for an actual patriotic press. How about Iran shrinking, going underground? You see, Iran's leaders are hiding in bunkers and moving into civilian areas. The only thing that is widening is our advantage. Not to mention our Gulf partners stepping up even more, now going on the offense, and have always been with us on the defense with collective and integrated air defenses.
Yeah, it's like Saudi Arabia and Qatar shooting down the drones.
It is unshakable. Our options maximized, and our capabilities still building. We're going up, they're going down. As I said,
God, I wish I was American. Canada's the worst. Do you remember whenever the leader of your military went up on stage and started crying about being racist 100 years ago? I'm so sorry, man. I don't know what happened to you guys up there. I really don't. It's bad.
President Trump holds the cards. He'll determine the pace, the tempo, and the timing of this conflict. His hand firmly on the wheel, as well as on the throttle setting. America first, peace through strength in action. From day one, as our nation expects and the president demands, our warriors have fought with lethality, precision, and rapid innovation. In fact, today will be, yet again, the highest volume of strikes that America has put over the skies of Iran and Tehran. The number of sorties and number of bomber pulses, the highest yet, ramping up and only up.
So they're just going to keep bombing the shit out of them until, the bombing will continue until morale improves. It's pretty simple. Wow.
And quantity has a quality of its own.
How can it still be ramping? The reason why it's ramping is that now they're attacking smaller local targets, like, for example, militia bases and IRGC stations, rather than focusing on very large military installations, because most of those have been destroyed. So, like, they were basically destroying the strategy, and now they're going after the tactics. Does that make sense? That's what I'm guessing, right? And also, they don't have any defenses anymore, so it's easier to shoot more stuff with less risk. Because, like, obviously each different type of missile and, like, way of attack has a higher and a lower probability of there being countermeasures used against it. So whenever you can use things that effectively you can shoot down easily, but if they can't shoot them down, then it's perfect. So yeah, that's really what I'm thinking is happening. That's what I guess.
We continue to ramp up. Every tool of AI, of cyber, of space, EW, counter UAS, you name it, we're employing it. Blinding, confusing, and deceiving our enemy. Because we know who the good guys are here. And the American people do too. And that makes my job simple. I serve God, the troops, the country, the Constitution, and the President of the United States, and answer only to those. All in service of victory on the battlefield and the military objectives that we've laid out from day one. Defeat the missiles, missile launchers, and defense industrial base, which I laid out today. Defeat the Navy and deny Iran the ability to have a nuclear weapon. Clear,
I feel like that's obviously happened.
Achievable. And Admiral Cooper knows, the CENTCOM commander who we spent a couple of hours with last night, that in pursuit of those objectives, we have his back in every way. His commanders know that, and so do the troops in harm's way. Admiral Cooper gets what he needs, the assets, the authorities, the munitions.
So this is why are we doing this to Iran and not North Korea? North Korea is way less of a problem than Iran is. Like, realistically. Like, Kim just sits there in his house and he doesn't fuck with us. He doesn't do anything. He doesn't cause any problems. Like, I mean, that's another really big reason. Like, they're like nukes. Well, I mean, maybe they do, maybe they don't, right? But like, also, like, they're not a threat, really. They're retarded, but they're not really a threat.
We will stop at nothing to win. War is hell. War is chaos.
North Korea is a private server? Yeah.
And as we saw yesterday with the tragic crash of our KC-135 tanker,
yep.
Bad things can happen. American heroes. All of them. And as I have with all of them, as we have, we will greet those heroes at Dover, and their sacrifice will only recommit us to the resolve of this mission. But war in this context and in pursuit of peace is necessary.
You're not mentioning
which is
China?
why each day on Bended Knee we
It's a
continue
huge
to
reason.
appeal to heaven, to Almighty God's providence, to watch over and give
boy.
special skill and
Here we
confidence
go.
to our leaders and to our warriors. To those warriors who this nation prays for every single day, I hear from all of you out there who pray for them every day. Stay on Bended Knee and pray for them. I continue to say to them, Godspeed.
God. Oh, yeah.
May the Lord bless you and keep going. Mr.
Man.
Chairman, over to you.
Thank you, Mr. Secretary, and good morning,
Man.
ladies and gentlemen, and
Man.
thank you for joining us today.
How about
Before
that?
I start with an update, I also want to address the tragic loss of our KC-135 refueling aircraft yesterday. The incident occurred over friendly territory in western Iraq while the crew
Yeah, it
was
was a
on a
bit of a
combat
fuck-up,
mission.
huh?
And again, was not the result, as CENTCOM has said, was not the result of hostile or friendly fire. We're still treating this as an active rescue and recovery operation. As CENTCOM announced this morning, 4 airmen have been recovered, and the Air Force and U.S. Central Command will provide updates as information becomes available. Please keep these brave airmen, their families, friends, and units in your
I'm gonna go to
thoughts
the
in the
part where
coming
they're gonna
hours and
ask
days.
questions. If he's just
Our
going into
service
specifics.
members make an incredible sacrifice to go forward and do the things that the nation asks of them. It's a
it's really
reminder
sad.
of the true cost of
Especially
the
when it's an
dedication and
accident, too.
commitment of the joint force.
Missing bolt.
We're also
Nobody
aware of
knows.
a fire on board the USS Gerald R. Ford. We're thinking about the crew there who are injured in the fire. We believe and hope
Yeah.
that everyone will be okay.
Yeah,
And we're-
apparently they didn't get attacked or anything. They just, I don't know, somebody set something on fire. Shouldn't
We're
have done
grateful
that.
for that.
Big
And for
mistake.
any further questions on that, we'd refer you to NAVCENT or to the Navy. This morning, we enter the 13th day of Operation Epic Fury, and we continue to make progress towards our military objectives. As the Secretary said, today will be our heaviest day of kinetic fires across the operating area. CENTCOM continues to attack ballistic missile and drone capabilities so that they are no longer a threat to U.S. forces, our bases, or our partners. They're continuing to destroy the Iranian Navy to ensure freedom of navigation, and this means going after Iran's mine-laying capability and destroying their ability to attack commercial vessels.
It's crazy how they're just attacking all kinds of commercial vessels, people that are totally unrelated to the war, just because they want to.
And we're targeting their defense industrial
Wow.
base so they cannot rebuild the capabilities that can harm
McDonald's should come out with
America's
an Operation Epic
interests
Flurry.
or our partners in
Definitely
the future.
they'll do that.
As Admiral Cooper said in his update on Wednesday, Iranian combat power continues to decline as a result of the continued strikes, as the Secretary talked about. We've attacked over 6,000 targets, and our strike packages continue to
15.
launch every
Oh, it was
hour,
about Israel,
and
too.
we've maintained an unprecedented number of sorties up overhead of Iran. CENTCOM is now persistently over the enemy, and a result, we've seen a reduction in missile and one-way attack fires, as the Secretary said. In less than 2 weeks, we've rendered the Iranian Navy combat ineffective and continue to attack naval vessels, including all of their Soleimani-class warships, which were armed with anti-ship missiles and anti-aircraft weapons.
I'm surprised they have any left. I'm going to be honest. I'm going to go to the questions and have them go through some of these, because obviously, like, this is just more like specific stuff. And who's the biggest economic competitor in the past 30 years? China. What will the U.S. have after the war? Iran, Venezuela oil, Iran's oil, Panama Canal. If we get Russia to our side, China's economy collapses. Why? I don't think that's really what's going to happen. I don't think they're going to get Russia on our side. I think that the main goal is to just get Russia out of Ukraine, right? I mean, that's basically it.
In the recovery operations to bring home our lost KC-135 crew, that we keep those service members and their families in their thoughts and prayers. Those are very, very, very tough days. when that knock comes on the door for people on both sides of the door. Again, thank you to our deployed, thank you to our fallen, and to their families, and to the Joint Force. And with that, I'll turn it back to you, sir.
Mr. Chairman.
Oh, this is the questions.
Alexandra Ingersoll, One America News. Can you tell us a little bit more about the Strait of Hormuz and when it might be fully operational again? And how do we ensure our objective of denying Iran a nuclear weapon if they continue to align with our adversaries?
That's true. That's a good question.
I'll take it and chime in, Mr. Chairman, if you'd like it all. I want to emphasize what the chairman said about that. The only thing prohibiting transit in the Straits right now is Iran shooting at shipping. It is open for transit should Iran not do that. Now, there's a reason why we chose, as one of our primary objectives, destroy the Navy. We understood the ability to interdict shipping is something Iran has done for 40 years. It's key terrain. They've used it as leverage. The world has seen.
Yeah, they've done this multiple times before. The idea that the government didn't plan for this is retarded. Of course they planned for this.
But they'll do to fight back in that context. And so we've heard them talk about taking various measures, and we're planning for all of them. So we have a plan for every option here. We're working with our interagency partners, and that's not a strait we're going to allow to remain contested or with a lack of flow of commercial goods. So we're aware of that. We're laser focused on our military objectives, but also want to make sure our partners across this government understand we're working with you to make sure that energy flows. And that's an important part.
Very true.
And the second question was on the nuclear capability. As we've said from the beginning, their strategy shifted just from defense of their nuclear facilities to a conventional umbrella of so many missiles that no one would challenge their ability to the opportunity to defeat their nuclear capabilities. And it was growing by the day.
That's the reason why they got the missiles, is so they can protect the nukes. Like, I mean, that's the entire plan.
So with Iran at its weakest moment, going at that ballistic missile capability creates an opportunity to ensure at any point in time that Iran give up their nuclear capabilities, or if need be, you prevent them from doing it, as the president has done once already with Operation Midnight Hammer, obliterating those capabilities. So the conventional side is a huge part at getting at denying nuclear capabilities, if you have anything you want to add.
Appreciate the question. I'm not going to comment on what we may or may not be thinking about any options that the Joint Force could be tasked to do in the future, whether it's on the nuke matter or
This guy seems really competent, by the way. Like, he does.
Else. Thank you.
But we have options.
The mines that are in the Strait of Hormuz and our ability to, obliterate them.
We retain a range of options to solve a whole variety of problems, and that is one set of options that we have, that we hold on to. So,
absolutely.
Thank you.
He's kind of boring, though. Yeah, that's the reason why he's good.
With Daily Wire. Thank you both for the update. ABC News has updated its story from yesterday, clarifying that the FBI report on Iran possibly striking California was unverified. I just want to ask you, what impact did that original reporting have on the public, and does Iran even have the ability to conduct such a strike? And then, just really quickly, on another note, what role did Vice President Vance play in counseling the president on this conflict? Can you speak to some of the media reporting suggesting that there is a division there?
That reporting on
boy, that's a drama question.
California obviously had no impact on us. Also, we're used to bad reporting. We're used to ill-informed reporting. And so it doesn't change how we operate, but we engage with it to prove that it's not true, as CENTCOM has done so well. Ultimately, I look at the reports on a daily basis of our interagencies all over it. My partners across government are all over, looking for indications and warnings, keeping the American people safe. There's a lot of things Iran has said it can do for a long time.
Let me guess, they can't do it?
Thankfully, including engaging their proxies and getting them involved in the fight, which they haven't been able to do. So we're watching that very closely. And as far as the vice president, he's an incredible member, leader of this team as well, alongside the president and the Secretary of State. I can't say enough great stuff about this team, how it works together, how it provides options to the president and the vice president every single day.
They're trying to create discord and discontent between Trump and Vance because Vance seems to be less supportive of the Iran war. I don't really see why he has to be supportive of it. Like, we have 50 problems in the country. Why does he have to be 100% locked in on this one problem? It's like, it's a stupid premise to begin with.
voice in that, an indispensable voice in that, actually. In the middle there, red tie.
Vance said,
yes.
Yeah, exactly. It's just
Michael
it's dumb.
Gordon, Wall Street Journal. Iran is thought to have 440 kilograms of highly enriched uranium in at least 2 locations and several
where'd that
thousand
go?
kilograms of lower
a good question.
purity material. Can you conclude this mission successfully without physically taking control of that material, or are you counting on diplomatic negotiations to provide some measure of control leading to its removal? You've mentioned missiles, you've mentioned drones, military industry. You haven't stipulated that taking care of that material is a mission priority.
We've said from the beginning, deny Iran nuclear weapons as a core mission. We retain options across the spectrum.
They're probably, because it's such a high profile thing or like high severity thing, they're probably not going to say what they're going to do with it.
Ensure that they never do.
Probably makes sense.
And President Trump has said that. And that's why this mission actually couldn't have been possible without Midnight Hammer, without what those B-2s did going across and obliterating those facilities. That set the condition for the opportunity to do what we're doing now. So the president's kept his eye focused on nuclear capabilities. And I will say we have a range of options, up to and including Iran deciding that they will give those up, which of course we would welcome.
That would
They
be
weren't willing
nice.
to do in
Yeah,
negotiations.
they just give it away.
I would never tell this group or the world what we're willing to do or how far we're willing to go, but we have options for sure.
Great.
Right next to him.
Me?
No, right there.
Right here, sir? Right here? I'll take it for
Quarter
sure.
zip right there. Yep. No, you. Yep.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Every time I hear quarter zip, I just think of
Can you please provide
Epstein.
some guidance? It's been 13 days in. Can you please provide some guidance, both of you, about the strike on the girls' school? There's been reporting.
They are not going to let up on this, man. Oh my God. It's like, what do you want them to say? Like, I think that honestly what they should do is they should just simply just keep giving the same generic answer over and over and over until they eventually just stop asking the question. I think that's what I would do. Because here, the reality is that the media will not accept an outcome that doesn't mean that the United States or Israel is at fault. Like, even if Iran did bomb the school, if the investigation shows that to be the case, they will just say that the government's lying, basically. It's important. I think that it's being obviously overrepresented, and it is, I mean, yeah, obviously it's bad, but I think that what they're doing is they're trying to use this as some sort of emotional bludgeon that they can effectively beat over everybody and say, oh, you killed a school full of girls, you did this, you did this, you did this. Like, I mean, really, I don't think anybody supports having that happen, but when you're having a war, accidents happen, and we don't even know whether who did it or not. Like, it's hyper fixated on, and it's being done with the express purpose and goal to delegitimize American and Israeli attacks on Iran to make us look like we are the bad guys. That's why it's being done. And so, yeah, why even, I think that you make a mistake by even trying to play into this type of narrative. And someone clearly supports it. No, they don't. I mean, do you think that mistakes never happen with bombings? We just had a plane crash and 6 people die. Mistakes happen all the time. Do you think that they wanted to crash the plane and kill themselves? No. That's just what happens. Like, I don't see how, I mean, really, just think about it logically for 3 seconds. It's a press's job to be critical of the government, bro. I think that they are not really being critical of the government. I think they're being partisan and biased. I think that they've already asked this question 15 times. This isn't, the press is not being critical of the government. They are complicit in effectively enabling enemies. They're completely biased about it. They're not being critical.
That indicates that preliminary inquiry, even though it's ongoing, has determined that the airstrike was carried out by the United States. Given that there is another competing narrative that this was done intentionally, can you provide us with some guidance about whether this was the case? Secondly, we are also getting, we had heard yesterday from Energy Secretary Wright that said that the U.S. Navy would not be ready until the end of the month to provide escorts through the Strait of Hormuz. Is that an accurate assessment? And if so, can you tell us why? Thank you.
Well, with an issue on your first topic, an issue of such seriousness, we're not going to let reporting lead us or force our hand into indicating what happened in a particular situation, because the truth matters. So I can report that CENTCOM has designated an investigating officer to complete a command investigation. The command investigation will take as long as necessary to address all the matters surrounding this incident. And the investigating officer is from outside CENTCOM and is a general officer. But I will note to this group and to the world, there's only one entity in this conflict between us and Iran that never targets civilians.
Man.
Literally never targets civilians. I look at the process that's used on dynamic strikes or on boat strikes and others. We have a very high fidelity process in that case. So we don't target. Iran does. We will investigate. We'll get to the truth, and we'll share it when we have it. Absolutely. And what was the second
About the Strait of Hormuz, about the Navy.
It's a tactically complex environment. And before I think we want to take anything through there at scale, we want to make sure that we do the work pursuant to our current military objectives to do that safely and smartly. So we're continuing to develop.
And we do a lot of work.
Yeah.
And like I said, it is dynamic, but this is, I think, almost by 20% the largest day of strikes. And as I said, our intelligence just gets better and better. That feedback loop feeds itself. And as we refine those targets, it exponentially increases what we can hit and why, to include strategic things the world's talking about and looking at. And it's our job to have a plan for it.
I don't know what the rules
we do
are.
To address it and ensure that the president has options. We've done that from the beginning in this department. He'll have options on that topic as well.
Yeah.
Right here.
The United States, they carried out that strike, sir?
An investigation is an investigation. That's what it is. It doesn't mean anything other than that. Yes.
Ryan Morgan with the Epic Times. Regarding today's busy day of strikes, last week you guys discussed the progress of the air campaign to gain air superiority and to transition from these standoff weapons launched at range to more overhead strikes. Can you now say that these strikes today are going to rely entirely on stand-in over-the-top weapons, or are standoff range weapons still in play?
It's a great question. I can say, based on the report I read this morning at 0600, only 1% of the munitions we're using today are standoff munitions. The rest are over-the-top.
Somebody says, do you think this will be any different than the war in Afghanistan? Religious zealots never surrender. I could see this going on for years. You know what's really funny is that what I think is funny about it is the fact that, yes, very obviously, of course, religious zealots don't surrender, but also they already are. They already are. They're already roaching out at this very moment. The entire idea that you can't break this type of narrative is crazy. Of course you can. You absolutely can.
The types of which
They're
we
already
have
surrendering.
A plethora. Which was our goal from the beginning. You use standoff, which are more exquisite. You transition to a much larger magazine depth, ensuring that you're preserving all the capabilities you have and your options across the force. Absolutely.
Has Iran placed any mines since the war started? Is Iran placing new mines?
We've heard them talk about it, just like you've reported recklessly and wildly about it. But we have no clear evidence. We have no clear evidence of that.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Secretary, given everything the U.S. have accomplished in the last 24 hours, as of today, how do you define success in this military option? And has that definition changed from day one? And also regarding Iran government telling countries hosting U.S. American bases that they could face attacks. What is the Pentagon doing about that?
It's pretty crazy to say that.
The objective?
How do you define success as of today?
Yeah, I mean, we define success, again, 12 days in, by reaching the military objectives that we've laid out. Launchers, missile launchers, defense industrial base, their Navy, the ability to project power in the naval sense, leading toward denying them to get a nuclear weapon. And we've got internal metrics that look at that we represent to the president, who then can decide how long he'd like to continue in pursuit of those military objectives. So that hasn't changed. There's a lot of things a lot of people talk about, what they want us to do or what we should do or what we should stay focused on. And again, I've addressed this before, and I think it's worth saying again. Mission creep or expansive missions or prolonged timelines or democracy building or nation building, you name it, has not been part of what President Trump wants us to be involved in.
It seems like it's a huge fucking mistake to do that. That's whenever you get entangled indirectly.
For something here, this particular mission set, but also recognizing this country's conditioned to previous leaders, whether it's George W. Bush or Barack Obama or Joe Biden, who had these expansive, nebulous mission sets that kept changing all the time. So the timeline kept moving, and we kept pouring more troops in and on the ground. And then pretty soon everyone wonders, like I did in Afghanistan in 2012, what's our mission here?
Yeah.
I'm not clear what it is.
Yeah.
We're taking the opposite approach here and saying we've defined these objectives. We're pursuing those objectives. The president has his hand on the throttle and will decide ultimately when they've been reached that serve the purposes of the United States of America, American interests first. Yeah, right here.
Thank you, Secretary Hegseth. Polls show over 80% of Republicans support the president's military action in Iran, but there's some consternation in parts of the party, particularly from your fellow Fox News alum, Tucker Carlson. He called the war disgusting and evil, and then said of unconditional surrender, which the president has called for, means foreign troops get to rape your wives and daughters. Have you heard these comments, and what's your reaction to them?
What the yeah, okay.
We're busy executing on behalf of great patriotic Americans with a clear mission that's 47 years overdue, and we're going to execute on that regardless of what people say about it. Yeah, right here.
You have said that the U.S. military has essentially aerial superiority, naval superiority over Iran, yet we're not escorting ships through the Strait of Hormuz. Why? How did you not plan for this?
We planned.
How did you not plan for this? Oh my God, bro, like these people are such rats. How did you not plan for this? Like, what a fucking idiot. I'll be right back. Give me a second. All right, I'm back. We're good. Sorry about that. Let me continue.
For it. We recognize it. Because ultimately we want to do it sequentially in a way that makes the most sense for what we want to achieve and ensure that we're sending the right signals to the world when we do so. So when Chris Wright speaks or we speak, it's based on a full assessment of what we're up against, what we want to say to the world, how that we want them to see and understand the conflict. It's like this whole idea of the war widening. That's what the press wants to make it look like it's widening and chaos is ensuing. No, we're actually closing in on grabbing hold of and controlling what objectives we want to achieve and how we want to achieve them. It's called shaping operations and setting the conditions. But when you shape the environment, you don't always tell. I mean, foolish political leaders and foolish military leaders of the past will hang an exact deadline on it. Or here's exactly when we'll do what we're going to do. Or here's how long it's going to take us. And then if you
I think that Trump has made that mistake multiple times where like he's given definitive like things and then obviously it didn't happen that way. And then he looked bad. And so I think it's very obvious that they're trying to avoid that as much as possible.
That maybe you meet it, but if you don't, you fail. And if you're far beyond, we know exactly what we're shaping and why. We're sending those signals working across the interagency. The Strait of Hormuz is something we've paid attention to from the beginning. And the American people can rest assured
to say that.
We will ensure that our interests are advanced, no doubt. Yeah, right there, green jacket.
Mike Bress with the Washington Examiner. How many American casualties have there been, and where were the American service members when they were injured?
I mean, it's a bunch of return to duty. So we've had the large majority have gone in for some medical treatment and return to duty. We've had in Kuwait, Jordan, down across the southern flank a little bit, a variety of places, most from one-way attack strikes.
But I want to clarify that. I think what we've tried to do here is clarify those numbers rather than saying KIA or WIA wounded. Be more clear about that because the overwhelming majority, almost 90%, thank God, are returned to duty. Minor injuries returned to duty, and so that number can look a certain way, and our job is to add some fidelity to it. Right here.
Thank you, Mr. Secretary. David Zia, Real America's Voice. Can you share what types of munitions have been used on the attacks on commercial shipping? Have any hit mines? And are USVs, unmanned surface vehicles, being used? And just a quick follow-up, were there any arrests in Fort Campbell with the drone thefts?
Oh,
I'm
drone
not familiar
thefts.
with the Fort Campbell
The
thing.
fuck?
The
Who's stealing
strikes that
drones?
Iran has taken on shipping up north in the vicinity of Kuwait have been, I believe, from surface to surface missiles up there. We've not seen any USV activity out of Iran that we've seen in the Gulf at this point.
Nor have any ships hit mines or anything.
Yeah, there's
like
been
that.
no
It's still flowing
thank
through
you.
the.
There's been no strikes that we.
One more time, right here.
Thank you so much. Heather Mullins, Lindell TV. My first question
Usual
is,
suspects
President
stealing
Trump
drones?
is set
Is
to
that
meet
right?
with Xi
4
Jinping in a
drones.
couple of weeks. How much support, if any, has China been given the Iranian regime? And then the second question,
Ooh.
just, you know, I know President
Probably
Trump calling
none.
for an unconditional surrender from Iran. Given that the U.S. is working in partnership with Israel on this whole operation, is Iran expected to meet demands of both countries or just the U.S., and what
That's
are
a good
those
question.
demands?
Well, we're proud to partner with the incredible capabilities the the Israelis have, but our objectives are our objectives, and so when those are met, as we meet those, we'll set the tempo of when those are met. What was the first
sure, I
question?
could expect that.
He's meeting with Xi Jinping
Oh
in a
yeah,
couple
the president
weeks.
has
What's China's
has
role in all of
a
it?
historic relationship with President Xi. They look forward to having a dynamic conversation. Two powers. President Trump ultimately has established.
I think we're just going to keep selling China more of the oil, and then China's going to let Iran fall. I think that's what's going to happen. That's the best case scenario that's best for both China and America, and it just fucks Iran. Like, that's the smart thing to do. Like, if I was Trump, that's what I would do.
That relationship, which advanced the United States of America, and that meeting will continue to ensure we advance that. That's all I've got. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Man, well, there it is. And he did do that. I mean, hopefully, right? Also improves relations. Yeah, definitely.